We're joined by David Arnold. David, thank you so much for coming along. It's essential in telling the story of Don Black's career and work, because you've been working with him on James Bond songs, and in many ways you've become the successor to John Barry. So just going back, Don, to when you first met John Barry and the first Bond song you worked on.
Well, yeah, I remember it well because it had to be called Thunderball. You know, it seemed to have followed me all my life, what with True Grit, you know, bad titles, you know, to write songs.
Not a great start.
Not a great start. So first thing I did was look it up in a dictionary, and it wasn't there. There's no such word as Thunderball. So I scratched my head for a while, and I used it as a kind of a code word, and he strikes like Thunderball. But funnily enough, the thing I remember mostly about that whole experience of Thunderball was Tom Jones' recording session, when he actually fainted on the last note. It was such a high note, and he had a head rush, and he still does it, but I'm sure he's lowered the key.
Even
now.
Tom Jones.
It
beat Tom Jones, of all people.
But I'm going to make sure David doesn't go to the last note.
David, are you happy to play some of Thunderball for us?
Well, I'll have a go. I always feel quite nervous about playing other people's songs, especially John's. He always runs while others walk. He acts while other men just talk. He looks at this world and wants it all. And he strikes like Thunderball. He knows the meaning of success. I mean, it's difficult stopping because these songs are so incredible, the melodies are so incredible, and the lyrics are so inviting. And it's one of the things that I think I learned off of from Don, was the idea that Bond songs somehow gather you into the world that you're about to create. What Don consistently does is put something in it as ridiculous as it might sound, and he makes it sound believable. But also, one of the extraordinary things that he can do is that he creates words that are very singable. You know, some people would write a lyric that may look like it makes a lot of sense and may read very poetically, but the way it tumbles out of your mouth is a very different thing. And Don sends me lyrics, and I look at them and I think, well, I wasn't sure about this line or that line, but then you sing them, and all of a sudden it just makes perfect sense. It's a great love of, I think, of the shape of words and the sound of words and the meaning of words. That you know, he's probably one of my top 25 lyricists in the country.
High praise indeed.
But I think when people ask me about it, I always think the song should be provocative and seductive.
Now you're talking about Bond here.
Yeah, Bond. Yeah. Bond.
Not all songs.
No. These songs. I described it once as the law of the forbidden, and there's something about that getting you into it, and almost, I've said it should have the whiff of the boudoir about it.
Dark glamour.
Yeah, dark glamour and something sinful.
Diamonds Are Forever is a good example. The lyrics don't, to me, sound like they're about a diamond.
No.
What were they about?
Well,
exactly?
I mean, to me they were about a diamond. John Barry supposedly said to Shirley Bassey, think of it as a diamond as a penis, which may have done a lot for her, but did bugger all for me. But anyway, she sang it in a very, very provocative, come-hither way.
How much of a legacy is it to take on? You've got John Barry, but you're also working with Don Black.
It was hugely exciting being asked to do it, and then the reality sets in that actually now you actually have to do it because you've dreamt about this forever, and now you actually get a chance of doing it. We did
The World Is Not Enough.
The World Is Not Enough, which was the title of the title of the song from The World Is Not Enough, and then we did a song that Scott Walker recorded for the end title of that, which I absolutely adore. Called Only Myself to Blame, and that, I mean, I'm very fond of that song, chiefly because of the lyric more than anything.
But it wasn't used in the movie, was it?
It wasn't used in the movie. No, it was sort of featured in the film instrumentally, but the vocal version.
Scott Walker's version wasn't.
Yeah,
we didn't hear.
Yeah, but again, if we were talking about lyrics. I've walked way past midnight. I've driven for days. I've tried to forget in so many ways. I've held other arms, but they don't feel the same. And I've only myself to blame. From city to city, I still see your face. It follows me round all over the place. I've held other arms, but they don't feel the same. And I've only myself to blame. I knew it was love, but when you are young, you think love will come again and again. There's no greater fool in the Fool's Hall of Fame. And I've only myself to blame. But it's a fabulous, fabulous lyric. And it's so simple, so simple.
Very poignant as well. It's
And that's when I talked earlier about truth in lyrics, what I try to find. That line in the bridge there, which I'm very fond of, you know, I knew it was love, but when you are young, you think love will come again.
That's a great line.
And again. There is truth in that. That is true. When you're young, okay, there'll be more.
Without putting you too much on the spot, how did it compare working together with working with John Barry?
No, I think
I eat more and drink less.
Well, I think it's different in as much as that John has a different way of working to most people. He won't let you have the tune right away. He thinks about it for a long, long time. And then when you get it, the tune, you feel that he's unveiled it because he's been working, honing it, you know, dissecting it, and here it is.
It's finished.
That's finished, and he gives it to you, and that's it. But with David here, it's a different thing. I throw a few lines at him, different random thoughts, different kind of things, and because you don't always know which way to go, and then he'll pick up, well, that line there will make a great opening line. Start with that, and so it's a much more collaborative thing in a way.
Okay, so you can respond to the lyrics musically.
Yeah.
I know Don always says, like, I like a melody, because if I've got a melody, I can sculpt the words to the melody. And eventually that all happens anyway, you know, they cling to the tune. But I like having a lyric or something to start off with, which like makes me, sometimes it's the rhythm of a phrase, or sometimes it's the idea of a word, which just makes the fingers fall in a certain way. And so generally what's happened with Don and myself is that he will send me over like a few lines, a few ideas. I'll talk to him about what I think the song is about, what the film's about, what the artist is like, the sort of song that I think we should be writing. And he'll have this like moment's thought, and then he'll just say something like, it's just something, it doesn't have to be anything. And he'll say something, and I'll sit there laughing because it is it in a sentence.
Do a little bit of The World Is Not Enough.
Yeah, how about The World Is Not Enough? That would be nice to hear.
So the odd thing about singing these things is like, because I never have to perform them after they've been written, so I never play them, so it's probably 10 years, isn't it? I know how to hurt, I know how to heal, I know what to show and what to conceal, I know when to run, to touch, that's it, and I know when to touch. No one ever died from wanting too much. The world is not enough, but it is such a perfect place to start, my love. But if you're strong enough, together we can take the world apart, my love. The world is not enough, nowhere near enough. Obviously, there's 3 minutes of that, but it's that we were saying the idea of like the world is not enough. What do you do after that? And Don just takes it to a completely different level. You know, the world is not enough, but it's such a great place to start. You know, there's no way that can be improved upon. I know why Don is the sort of lyricist that he is, because he has that handle on the vernacular. You know, he has a way of saying things which seem like you've heard it a million times before, but you never have.
All that's left for me to say is thank you so much for helping us tell the story of Don Black. Don, thank you. It's been brilliant.
Thank you, Will.
Thank you
Enjoyed
very,
it
very much.
Thank you so much.